right, you're welcome back. This is the AM show. I'm Gifty and Block and I'm doing this with
Enimado. And we just got back from the holidays, and it's often associated with Hamatan weather, so strong winds and a lot of fine dust in the atmosphere. But during the Yuletide, there was no sign of that. Anyway, the meteorological agency says
that word. I know.
Says we should expect it. So the agency issued a statement Tuesday night, which reads, the Hamatan is expected to intensify over the country from tomorrow, January 20th, 2021, and continue into the weekend. Dust has been raised from the source region, which is around Chad, and is expected to be advected into the country to deteriorate surface visibility. So,
well, they're saying that due to the influx of the dry and dusty continental winds, the northern half is expected to be drier with a relative humidity of less than 20% and below 50% over part of the southern sector. So, I mean, I just try and break that down a little bit. They also say that the intrusion of dryness increases the probability of fire outbreaks. So essentially they're saying that it's going to be drier up north, which we know already, but you have to take note of that, and that will increase the possibility of fire outbreaks.
Yes, exactly. So the general public is advised to be cautious of handling naked fires and be careful on the roads due to poor visibility. I have issues with Hamatan for two reasons: asthma and allergies. So those out there who have asthma and have allergies, this is a terrible season for us. We have a lot of breathing issues, a lot of allergy issues. So stock up on your antihistamines and make sure you have your inhaler on standby, because apparently the weather is going to get not so good for those of us with
not so good. But good thing is, I mean, I in my coverage of the northern region, I've seen several times, even when it wasn't there was no COVID, I've seen people wearing masks. So the good thing is for us now is that all of us are having to wear masks anyway. So hopefully that helps us to breathe a little bit more. Well, let's delve into the newspapers, take a look at what they're reporting anymore. Do you want to start with the Daily Graphic?
Sure. I can start with the Daily Graphic. And on the front page, government will import safe COVID-19 vaccine. That's according to the president. And I'm wondering why education hasn't started on that already. One would expect that by now, you know, there would be some, for the vaccines. If our plan is to get them and give them, are we waiting for them to get here before we start talking about them? Because people have a lot of issues and conspiracy theories and a lot of myths that have to be debunked.
Well, I think that we're not there yet, quite frankly. We're not there yet, even for the developed countries that have money and that have set aside money to buy. Those who are actually producing it, even those countries, they're still, I think they are the ones who are now dealing with how
but our levels of education are different. So you can't explain something in a week to somebody who has a university degree.
Right, so the point I'm making is that we're not there yet, as in we're late because we are now even thinking about how or whether or not the vaccine will get here.
The promise was the first
and how soon. Oh well. Anyway, well, I mean, let's see how it goes, because I mean, I've seen stories upon stories about how even those countries that are actually manufacturing it are having issues about how difficult it will be to reach, you know, other countries, etc. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that it looks to me like we at this point, our primary focus has been negotiations and how we can actually get it here in the first place. Maybe that's why we haven't focused on
actually
education. Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make. But anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Well, other stories. Election petition. Supreme Court dismisses Mahama's application. President reduces ministries to 29. So defeated ministers, that's quite an interesting way to put it. Defeated ministers won't be reappointed. Okay, on the back page, 97 people arrested for not wearing face masks. And yesterday, Gifty, so I was going around to some of the schools and talking to some of the children. So these are JHS pupils. And they were telling me about the fact that they are actually really disappointed about the fact that a lot of adults are not wearing face masks.
The kids were telling
that. Yes, because they're like, okay, so we have to wear them when we're walking to school or getting in a truck.
But we don't see
But we're not seeing the adults wearing them, you know. So, I mean, in terms of example.
And the truth is children learn a lot from what they see.
From what they see,
So if you want them to wear it, the best way is to wear it yourself.
Okay. Middle page, we need global collaboration cooperation to contain COVID-19. That's according to Dr. Asamoah Ba, and Petroleum Commission Partners Takoradi Technical University. Gifty, this story caught my attention. UNICEF lauds government for reopening schools.
Yes, I think the UNICEF's position has been that there is immense negative impact on keeping children in school and at home. So UNICEF's position has been that coronavirus should not stop people from getting education. So I say atoma mumubisa. Yeah, but I mean, I think they're still conscious about the fact that there are things that have to be done to make it a safe environment for the children. Well,
yeah. I mean, basically, you've summed up the article. My concern, though, is that the PPEs have not gotten to a lot of the basic public schools. And so, again, the children, not all of them have masks. There was one school that I went to, there's 900 children sharing 3 Veronica buckets. So balance.
I really
balance
don't know.
Is better. Balance for better.
I really don't know.
So that's the daily graphic.
I really don't know. All right. Well, let me follow that up with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the Ghanaian Times newspaper front page, government set to procure COVID-19 vaccines. That story was in the daily graphic, as Enigma read as well. But that story is on page 17. If you have the Ghanaian Times, you can find it there. Begins vaccination in next 6 months. Now, I want you to write that down. Next 6 months, okay? And that's coming from the president. So hopefully we'll hold them to their words and hopefully hold them accountable as well. But there's a story that intrigues me also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. It says U.S. President-elect Joe Biden takes office today. And yesterday I was watching him in his hometown, so to speak, of Wilmington. By the way, Wilmington is a beautiful place. Let me say I've proudly been there before. I've been to Joe Biden's hometown.
Home state.
Yes, home state. That's the right expression. So, and in Delaware, and he seems to be a very emotional man. I think he was also talking about his son, and he broke down. It was very emotional. So today they're having this inauguration that's extremely different from what they've known over the years. There aren't going to be people in Washington. There aren't going to be there's going to be a lot of security personnel from the National Guard, so many of them. Is going to be very interesting. Joe Biden himself has been telling people to stay at home and watch it on TV. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. But congratulations to him. Someone was asking me, I wonder what Donald Trump is going to do when he gets out of the White House.
I guess maybe go back to his business.
Manage his business. I think that was exactly the answer I gave to the person. Well, I'm still on the Ghanaian Times front page. Ongoing election petition, SC tosses Mahama's motion, page 15. And it comes with a picture of John Mahama, the running mate for the party, Professor Jenna Nopokwa, and then the party's chairman. Let's take a quick look at the center spread and what it has. Center spread of the Ghanaian Times. Let's see. Oh, I should have sorted this out earlier. Pardon me. Okay, so here it is. GHS, as the Ghana Health Service intensifies testing, contact tracing to prevent spread of COVID-19 variant. It comes with a picture of Dr. Antoninsia Asari. And then U.S. President-elect Joe Biden takes office today. That story is in the center spread. Government set to procure COVID-19. So all the big stories are in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. What do they have on the back page? Ladma refurbishes dilapidated school.
This morning, the big words are playing to you.
Ladma. No, actually.
Dilapidated.
Dilapidated. And should I know a big word? Yes,
sorry.
Well, the Western region also records 116 deaths, 910 injuries in road crashes. COVID is there. Road crashes are also still taking lives.
Yes, almost over 2,000 last year. So.
All right.
A lot. Okay, so I'm moving to the Daily Guide. And on the front line, COVID vaccines coming. So that story here again. Judges dismiss Mahama's 12 questions. I see a song coming.
Really?
From somewhere. 12 questions.
12 questions. How about a movie?
Or something, yes. Nana picks 85 ministers. Kumasi markets plan rotational system. So that's quite interesting. In Kumasi, they're planning to...
What do they say in the Nana picks 85 ministers now?
Nana picks 85
where's the story in?
It's on page 3.
Okay, can we take a look at the details?
Yes, can I finish my rotational story?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Kumasi markets are planning a rotational system, and so it will be most likely like a week on and a week off. I don't know how the markets women are going to feel about that, because they're reducing their working hours from 4 weeks, to 2 weeks. I guess the argument to be that is better than having it closed completely, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that will be like. But let's do Gifty's story. Nana picks 85 ministers. So again, it's an expectation because he actually hasn't released them, so we don't know.
Which is why I wanted to get the details.
Okay, so the sources at Jubilee House have indicated that the president's announcements will coincide with the establishment of the Appointments Committee of Parliament, which is mandated to vet the appointment. According to sources, President Akufo-Addo has taken a number of significant decisions with regards to appointments to be made. One of these decisions is that there'll be a considerable reduction in the number of ministers and deputy ministers to be announced, so from 126, and we will not exceed 85.
Okay.
And also, the number of ministries is also set to reduce from 36 to not more than 29.
Oh,
I'm like, can you just release the information already? Like,
I know, right? So it's very interesting. Are you done?
Yeah. No,
it's very interesting how the Daily Statesman and the, which one is it? Daily Guide? Yes, the Daily Guide and the Daily Statesman seems to have, exchanged memos. From 126 to 85, Akufo-Addo set to release list of ministers. That's on the front page. It's one of the stories on the front page. Speaking of which, we've seen a communication. We've seen communication from the acting head of communication at the Jubilee House, Eugene Ahin, to the effect that some people have been already selected. Pretty much old faces at the presidency. We'll take you through that list once again. But I'll continue with the Daily Statesman. The Daily Statesman. President is saying that government is working with intelligence agencies to get COVID-19 vaccine. Every paper seems to be reporting on the COVID-19 vaccine. And then Western Region chiefs not interested in lobbying Akufo-Addo for appointments. Okay, we hear. Then their banner headline, by the way, is Mahama suffers first blow. That's how they're reporting the Supreme Court proceedings. Supreme Court throws away application for interrogatories. Back page, it's a funeral announcement. Let's see what they have on the center spread of the Daily Statesman, and so we can move on from there subsequently. Oh, there's also a story about GJA decries delays in Ahmed Swale's murder case. And it comes with a picture of the GJA president. In the center spread, they actually have, that's something about the cylinders recirculation model there. So I'll just leave that be for the statement, Daily Statesman. Anyway. Okay, let me move on to the Business and Financial Times. So old age poverty crisis looms as 70% of active workforce fall outside the pensions bracket. And that story is on page 3 if you'd like the details. Single spines tango to be settled by the end of Q1. And over-reliance on FDIs undermines AFTA's rules of origin. And my good friend Mame Awinado on the front page there, speaking about that. In the middle of the newspaper, the center spread, as Gifty calls it, Africa's CEO Forum and IFC gear up to rethink continent's financing needs. Roberta Annan is going to be speaking at the UNCTAD Trade Policy Dialogue to commemorate 2021 International Year on Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. That sounds interesting. And Stanchart Climate Innovation Center support women-led tech firms with over $150,000. We're always excited to hear women in tech, aren't we? Doing crazy, amazing stuff. That's cool.
That's it for the Business and Financial.
Okay. Well, let me follow that up with the Finder newspaper. Finder newspaper has a lot on the front page. I'll start with the second term. So this one comes with a picture of President Akufo-Addo, as you can see there, right there on your screen. Second term ministers will not exceed 85, 29 ministers. We hear President to release list before week ends. Ministers, deputies who lost MPs out. So it's a story that's running through the Finder, the Daily Statement, the Daily Guide. Yeah, I'm sure you understand what I mean. Anyway, COVID-19 vaccine committee completes work according to president. Arrest of the Finder journalist absurd and without legal basis. So this is a follow-up to a story where a Finder newspaper journalist was allegedly arrested actually by police for taking shots of an incident that was ongoing. And then still on the front page of the Finder newspaper, Mahama's application for EC to answer questions dismissed. I'm wondering, so the picture that Martin Kpebu's picture is actually for the story on the arrest of the Finder journalist. He's describing it as absurd and without legal basis. TEU suspends nationwide industrial action. Oh, we didn't hear much of that yesterday. Well, that's good. It's on page 4 of the Finder newspaper. Opare Duncan to act as National Security Coordinator, page 5. That follows the unfortunate, death of Mr. Treme, the National Security Coordinator. Center spread looks like an advert. Back page, adverts as well.
Okay, so let's move on to the Daily Dispatch. And Gifty, I'm sure you are familiar with the Joy News documentary and the Joy News story Erastus Asaridonko has been following on Galamsey. Yes. Well, that's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch. Military investigating how 30 soldiers were protecting illegal Chinese miners. Fallout from the Joy News story. So let me just tell you about that a little bit. Okay, so the team went to Manso and to see the forest and the destruction and degradation, and all of that was visible from miles away. There were lots of abandoned pits and mining settlements dotted the road, leading into what is left of once a very lush forest. So when they got there, there were 7 Chinese nationals who were quickly located and arrested. The Chinese were later released. But I think what is really worrying is that a young military officer drove into the compound in a pickup truck whilst the Love News reporters were there, started making some calls, and within 30 minutes, the entire place was crawling with over 30 angry armed military men. Now, for hours, members of this task force were surrounded and prevented from moving their vehicles by armed soldiers and a backup of known faces from the Delta Force Group, led by the owner of Heritage Imperial Company, Donald Ensia. Some members of the Delta Force damaged the equipment of Love FM journalists who were covering the story, and under the watch of military men, broke the windscreen and side mirrors of the Love FM car. And Erastus and the team managed to retrieve the recorded footage, and which is how come we actually have the story.
Otherwise, it will be dead news.
It will be dead news. So you can, we'll be airing that in a few days. I think it'll also be on the morning show.
We have aired that story, I think, for the past 2 days.
Okay.
The past 2 days we have aired it, but it's a story that's still developing. The thing is, we've been trying to reach out to the military spokesperson or the Director of Public Affairs, Keno Agwekwashi. Yesterday, I personally tried to call him. So I don't know if you can hear and you know him, do tell him that I've been trying to call him.
For him.
We've been trying to, to get the military side of things, because obviously the military team has been withdrawn from the illegal mining sites. Now, this work that Erastus covered was work done by the environmental the Environment Ministry, I think. So those people you see there are people from the Environment Ministry. And that's why you saw that clash there. The military will have to explain to us. So you see that the story by the Daily Dispatch comes with a picture of the CDS. So the military, but it is reporting that the military is investigating. And that's the side that we haven't heard from Keno Agwekwashi as yet. But this really is a terrible story.
It's very disturbing. Okay. So that's it for the Daily Dispatch. We'll go to our online stories now. Okay, well, City Newsroom, starting from there. Okay, we're going to start with My Joy Online. Akufo-Addo retains Frema Osei Opare, Nana Bediatuo, Eugene Ahin, and others at the presidency. If you'd like a more comprehensive list, if you go to My Joy Online, it's on there. Will Berry Rollins in Anglo State family reconsiders date and location for the rights? Okay, I thought that was pretty much settled. 6 more dead. Active COVID-19 cases crossed 2,000 mark again. And Gifty, if you go to Ghana Health Service website this morning, they've updated. They hadn't updated for 2 days. They've updated this morning. and over 2,000. So some pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
I hope you're staying safe out there. Wear your mask, keep your distance. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Wash your hands with soap and running water, sanitize when you can. And let's not get complacent. High Court dismisses embattled FDA lawyer's application against Manasseh Awuni. That's for My Joy Online. Okay, so...
Well, I still have the Publisher newspaper and the Ghanaian Observer, which I didn't go through. The publisher says will source suitable COVID-19 vaccine. Akufo-Addo, President appoints FEMA 12 others, like you saw that story at myjoyonline.com. Then Mahama again files fresh case as SC blocks 12 questions. The Ghanaian Observer is reporting that mix of old and new. Akufo-Addo's ministers won't exceed 85. And U.S. City of Stonecrest honors Angel Group president. Okay. Government begins talks to import COVID-19 vaccine. A lot of the newspapers reporting that one. Supreme Court dismisses Mahama's 12 question also here. And Bawumia shows gratitude to staffers. Yeah.
Okay, so citynewsroom.com, Rollins family demands remains after state funeral. Government will do its best to protect students in school. That's according to the president. Eugene Ahin, Fema Pare, Bedieto, others maintain as presidency in new appointments. Nyaho Medical Center to transfer non-COVID patients to other hospitals. So that came out yesterday. They designated the airport site as a COVID-19 site. Carlos ballot snatching. There's a story on Carlos's ballot snatching, his Usain Bolt's annex gimmicks. Okay, so BBC, Trump pardons Bannon in final acts of clemency. So Donald Trump has pardoned 73 prisoners. I think it would seem, go on BBC and you'll find the story that Trump imposes visa restrictions on unnamed Tanzania. He's really trying to make the news before he goes, isn't he? Africa Live, France to adjust military strength in Sahel region. That's it for BBC. Oh, let's do some sports. Leicester to go top with win over Chelsea. Good morning to all the Chelsea fans out there. Okay.